Today we are going to start a new topic, and that is the lens. This is a very important topic regarding your exams, and I hope that you all know a little bit about the normal uh, anatomy and physiology of the lens. We today will just be going through the normal basic anatomy and the physiology of the lens. Now lens, what is lens? Actually, human eye can be compared with the camera. Hello. Human eye can be compared with a camera, because a camera also has a focusing lens in front of it, from where the picture is being focused onto the back film, dark film of the camera. Similarly, in the eye, the front lens is actually the normal intraocular lens, and the back print area of the camera can be compared with the retina of the eye. Now this front lens of the eye is actually a biconvex transparent structure which is held in its place with the help of zonules. Okay, these zonules are also called suspensory ligaments. And if you just recall the physics that you have been taught in the first year and second year, that a normal lens can be either spherical or cylinder, or it can be convex or concave. Convex lenses are those lenses which converge the light rays, and concave lenses are those lenses which diverge the light rays. In a human eye, the light rays that are coming from far distance away are parallel to each other. Okay, while those light rays which are coming from very near view, they are diverging. So in the eye, we need a lens which is able to converge all the light rays onto a point focus onto the retina. So that lens should be convex. Okay, and a normal human lens, which is also called intraocular lens because it is inside the eye. A normal human lens or the intraocular lens is biconvex in shape, and the anterior surface of the lens is less convex as compared to the posterior surface of the lens. Can you see the picture in front of you on your screen? Here, the front surface, the anterior surface of the lens is less convex, while the posterior surface of the lens is more convex. This is again cut section of a lens, which is showing you the histological parts of the lens. Now, which one should be the anterior surface? This should be the anterior surface, because this is less convex and this is more convex. This is the most posterior surface of the lens. On the both sides, it is convex. That is why we call it biconvex. It is hanged in its position with the help of suspensory ligaments or zonules, which are attached at the equatorial zone. This is the equatorial zone where I am marking this arrow. I hope you all can see this arrow. Okay? Let me unmute you. Hello? Students, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, this is the equatorial zone of the lens. This is EZ. Okay? Equatorial zone. where the suspensory ligament is attached. Okay. Why you want to know about suspensory ligament? Because clinical importance of suspensory ligament will be taught to you in a type of cataract which is called pseudo exfoliation syndrome, where we will discuss about the suspensory ligaments and the lens. Okay. This is the peripheral zone of the lens. This is the central zone of the lens, CZ. This is the peripheral zone of the lens. This is the central part of the lens, which is called the nucleus. Outside the nucleus, we have cortical fibers. Okay? In the peripheral portion of the lens, we call it a bow region of the lens. This is the bow region of the lens. Actually, this is the region of transition where the epithelial cells are converted into lens fibers. Please hear it with concentration that these epithelial cells, they are converted into the lens fibers in this zone. They actually exclude the nucleus from their cell and they become lens fiber. Those new lens fiber are present in the cortical region. This is the cortical region. As these lens fiber go on to get old, they are accumulated in the center. This means that the central zone of the lens has the oldest fibers, and the most central portion has the most oldest fibers of the lens. From where these epithelial cells come out? These are present onto the capsule of the lens that is covering the lens. There is an outer capsule which is covering the whole lens, and that capsule has a simple columnar epithelial lining on it. Simple columnar. This is not stratified. This is single layered, simple columnar layer. Okay. These cells in the peripheral zone, they convert into lens fibers. That region is the bow region. Okay. Here is some theoretical explanation of the anatomy of the lens, that it's a transparent biconvex structure. It is present behind the cornea. Okay? It reflects the light rays to be focused onto the retina. If you consider about the refractive power of the lens, it is many times greater than the cornea. How much is the normal refractive power of the lens? It is 58 diopters. Okay? Its refractive power is more than cornea, but corneal refraction is always greater than lenticular refraction. Means the light rays which enter into the eye, they refract more at the cornea as compared to lens. This is because of the difference in the refractive index in between the ear and the cornea. The difference is greater than the refractive index difference in between the aqueous humor and the lens. That is why the light rays, they refract more at the cornea, rather they have less refractive power, and the lens which have more refractive power, still it do not refract the light rays to the extent, so to the extent if we compare it with the cornea. Now the transparent lens of the eye is located behind the iris. Okay, and it's a biconvex shape. I told you it's more convex posterior as compared to anterior. The diameter is 10 millimeter and it has an axial length of 4 millimeter. Now we all know that axial length of normal eye is 23 millimeter, while the axial length of the lens is 4 millimeter. Why we are discussing about these basic points, the basic anatomy, because everything in normal anatomy of the lens is going to be used in the clinical implication, the clinical diseases of the lens, especially the cataract. So you have to know about every single point of the normal lens anatomy. How does the lens develops? Basically, it develops from the neural ectoderm. Okay, uh, the neural ectoderm and the surface ectoderm. The neural ectoderm gives origin to the eyelid, conjunctiva, the sclera, and the extraocular muscles. All the parts of the eye, they are originated from the neural ectoderm, while the lens itself is derived from surface ectoderm. This is the embryological basis of the normal human lens development. Okay? Normally, the lens is composed of 4 layers. Outermost, as I showed you in the picture, was the capsule. I told you about that. Then is the subcapsular epithelium. I showed you the simple columnar epithelium which was covering the lens from inside. Okay, then is the cortex. Cortex is the outer portion of the lens, and the centermost portion of the lens is the nucleus. The nucleus has the oldest fibers, the cortex has newer fibers. Okay, now if we talk about the lens capsule, it's a clear membrane like structure and it's an elastic structure. Again, the clinical implication, that why it is elastic. See, lens is being suspended in its position with the help of suspensory ligaments or the zonules. Lens is not actually a rigid structure, it has to be
चुप
flexible.
हो जाओ.
Why it is flexible? Because lens should change its shape according to the distance from the target. If you are looking at a very far distance, your lens will be in normal resting position. If you are looking at a near object, your lens is not in the resting position, rather it will be in the tense position. That is, the lens will become more globular, more thicker, or you can say more convex, so that it can converge most of the diverged rays of light. Why? See, this is a natural phenomenon. When you are looking at a far object, the light rays are parallel. They are not diverging. The light rays that come from a distant object toward your eye, they are all parallel. A little refractive power is needed to converge these parallel rays of light onto a point focus onto the retina. So lens have to do a very less amount of work when the patient is seeing at a far distance. When a patient is seeing at a near object, what happens that the light rays are actually diverging. They are diverging light rays. They are not parallel. Now, you know that cornea is fixed. Cornea cannot change its shape. It is the lens which have to do all the work. It has to turn more globular, more curved, more convex, so that it can converge the light rays that are coming from a near object in order to focus them onto a single point on retina. Okay? Now, for that, the lens should be elastic, and that elasticity is provided by the capsule. The capsule of the lens is an elastic structure. Now, you got the point? The lens have to be elastic. Okay? And this lens capsule is also, you can say that it's a basement membrane, and it's composed of collagens, especially the type 4 collagen and the glycosaminoglycan. the lens epithelium is simple. It's not columnar, it's a cuboidal epithelium. There was a mistake. It's not columnar, it's a cuboidal epithelium. It's a simple cuboidal epithelium, single layer of epithelium. Okay. Now I told you that the lens cells, these cuboidal simple single layered cells that are present just beneath the capsule, they in the equatorial zone convert themselves into lens fibers. Okay? These fibers are 4 to 7 micrometer and the length is up to 4 millimeter long. These are tightly packed layers of lens fibers that are referred to as laminae. What is laminae? You have heard about laminae in the cornea also. Again, here you are uh, going through the same terminology, laminae. Laminae is basically it's easy to define it in Urdu. Let me tell you. जैसे आपने सुना होगा गठड़ी, गठड़ी लकड़ियों की गठड़ी नहीं होती, गठड़ी एक होती है. You have to pack it in a shape so that they are accumulated over there. So they are laminae of lens fibers. Okay, the lens is split into regions depending on the age of the lens fiber of a particular layer. The oldest layer is the centralmost layer I told you. Okay, it has the fetal nucleus. Okay, centralmost part of the nucleus is the fetal nucleus. Okay? And the outer then is the embryonic nucleus, and the outermost is the adult nucleus. So even you can convert, you can further classify the nucleus into an fetal nucleus, embryonic nucleus, and the adult nucleus. And then outer to the nucleus is cortex. Okay. Suspensory ligaments, also called zonules or zonules of Zinn. They are attached at one end to the lens, equator of the lens, and the other end is attached to the ciliary process. Ciliary processes are actually part of ciliary body. And what is ciliary body? It is the intermediate uvea. What is the anterior uvea? Iris. What is the posterior uvea? Choroid. What is the intermediate uvea? Ciliary body. Uvea is the middle coat of the eye. It is divided into three parts. The anterior uvea, that is iris, the posterior uvea, that is choroid, and the intermediate uvea, that is ciliary body. Now this ciliary body have ciliary processes to which these zonules are attached. Now as I just told you that whenever a person is looking at a near object, the light rays will diverge. The message will go toward the brain. The brain will send order toward the ciliary body. The ciliary body immediately will contract. When the ciliary body will contract, the ciliary processes will relax. The ciliary processes will relax. They will be, they will lose their hardness. They will relax. So contraction of ciliary body relaxes the ciliary processes, and this will relax the zonules, and eventually the lens will become more globular. So the lens will convert the light rays to be focused onto the retina. All this phenomena, this is termed accommodation. Okay? This is termed accommodation. This is accommodation is actually, the physiological, part of the lens. The lens, by changing shape, functions to change the focal distance. Yeah, this is the same point that I was just discussing to you, and it tries to converge the light rays to the retina, and the phenomena of converging the light rays to the retina while looking at a near object is called accommodation. The refractive power of the eye is 58 diopter, while the refractive power of the lens is 18 diopter. Okay, I just told you refractive power of the eye is 58 diopter and the refractive power of the lens is 18 diopter. Posterior to lens is what? It's the vitreous body which has vitreous humor. Anterior to lens is what? Aqueous humor. It means lens is bathed both anteriorly by the aqueous humor and posteriorly by the vitreous humor. So it gets nutrition from both aqueous humor as well as vitreous humor. So anterior, the lens do not have a blood supply for nutrition. So rather, it will get its nutrition supply from anteriorly from the aqueous and posteriorly from the vitreous. Okay. So that was all about the normal anatomy and physiology of the lens. If there is any disturbance in the metabolic activity of the lens, the lens will lose its transparency. Normally it is transparent. The whole lens is transparent. But if it loses its transparency, we will term it as cataract. Simply, definition of cataract is loss of transparency of the lens, opacification of the lens. Okay. So how does the cataract develops? Either it can be due to a change in the metabolic phenomena of the lens, it can be due to the trauma, it can be due to senile changes in the lens, okay, and it can be due to metabolic disturbances outside the lens. There are many factors we will be teaching you in the etiopathogenesis of the cataract, the classification of the cataract. First thing was to have a knowledge about the normal anatomy and physiology of the lens. And I hope that today you might have got a little bit idea about the normal anatomy and physiology of the lens. Okay? If anybody have any question regarding normal anatomy and physiology, you can ask me now. This is the question answer section. Yes, students. Students.
सर आपने टाइप्स ऑफ न्यूक्लियस बताए, फीटल न्यूक्लियस, एम्ब्रियोनिक न्यूक्लियस और अडल्ट न्यूक्लियस, तो आपने ये फाइबर्स की और मैच्योरेशन पे बताएं।
जी टाइप्स ऑफ
न्यूक्लियस आपने बताया ना कि फीटल न्यूक्लियस, एम्ब्रियोनिक न्यूक्लियस, अडल्ट न्यूक्लियस।
जी।
तो सर ये आपने जो फाइबर्स होते हैं वो आगे चल जाते मैच्योर होते हैं, इस बेसिस पे आपने बताया।
जी बिल्कुल
सही है, ठीक है सर।
Actually, the lens fibers, the more they get older, the more they accumulate in the center. And you know that the oldest fibers will be the fetal fibers. Okay? Then will be the embryonic fibers. And then the adolescent and then the adult fibers. That is why when you will in the future, when you will in the future when you will be going through the different diseases of the lens, you will have an idea that actually lens is a very dynamic structure. And
Sir,
if it is diseased, then what happens that it will not keep itself in the eye in the normal shape. It will, when it will be diseased, either it will swollen, either it will opacify, either it will lose its space, but you know it will not remain in its normal shape. Okay, Yes, any other question?
Yes, sir. Sir, at the birth, the dietary power is more as compared to the age of 25 years, sir. What the reason behind this? The difference in the dietary power at birth, the dietary power is more like the 14 to 16 dietary power at birth.
Yes,
And it, yes, sir.
actually, the diabetic power, as more the younger the person, the more is the diabetic power. As the patient gets older and older, the diabetic power of the lens reduces. Why? Because younger peoples have more accommodative power. They can accommodate more. Their ciliary body is very powerful. And the more the person starts getting older, the lesser the ciliary body power. And then the accommodation starts weakening. That is why after the age of 35 years, a person cannot accommodate for near objects. And then he have to get the help of a near glass. The near glass will help the normal lens in watching the near objects. A person who is less than 35 years of age, his lens power is so high that he can easily accommodate near objects. But as the person gets older, his lens loses the accommodative power, and then he have to use the glasses. That is called presbyopia. Okay,
Okay.
and another
Yes, sir.
clinical importance regarding this, if you have talked about it, let me tell you one more thing, that the lens of a young person is always soft. Whenever you will do surgery on a young person eye, you will find that his eye lens, when you will open it up, it will be very soft, because the lens fibers are not that much greater in number in the center of the nucleus. While a person who gets older, his lens starts getting hard more and more. So that is why the older the person, the harder will be the lens of the person. Okay, so that is all about the normal anatomy and physiology of the lens.
Okay, sir. Sir, but this is not happening to the every individual in the older age that he or she faces the breast myopia or its accommodation will be the less. So अगर कुछ इंडिविजुअल्स में अगर ऐसा नहीं होता तो फिर सर हम उसमें कैसे जस्टिफाई करेंगे कि इनमें ये नहीं हुआ? क्या उनकी सिलियरी बॉडी जो है वो इफेक्टेड नहीं हुई? आप बोल रहे हैं सर मोस्टली होती है, अगर नहीं हुई तो फिर सर फिर इसका क्या रीजन होगा कि भाई अकोमोडेशन पावर तो उनका तो कम नहीं हो रहा, कुछ लोगों का नहीं हो रहा.
Gigi, very good question. Actually, what happens that uh, have you heard about nowadays there is a very latest news coming on the social media, is that a 60-year age person in Pakistan is doing bodybuilding. So there are exceptions. Okay, there are
Yes, sir.
exceptions. There are many peoples who have got uh, good diet, a natural diet, which is rich in antioxidants, or people who have hereditary, they have from their parents, they have a good ciliary body power. So they can accommodate even up to 50 years, 60 years. There are exceptions. There are a few people who do not need near glasses up to the even 60 or 70 years age. But we are talking about most of the people. Okay, that's
Okay,
about
sir.
it.
Thank you, sir.
अरे बंद कर छत में।